your feet, soldier! We are leaving!
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Rebel here, and for today's episode, we're going to be going over the SA87 LMG machine gun. But first, it has been about a week since I posted a video about Call of Duty. I had to take a little break, so I went ahead and replayed Resident Evil 4, one of my favorite games ever. I made a nice Rebels retrospective episode about it, so you can check that out by clicking that thing that just popped up in the top of the screen. Now let's get into it. So the SA87 LMG is the worst gun in the game, quite possibly. There might be a couple other contenders out there, but oh my god, this gun is terrible. And when I say bad, it's like assault rifle with LMG handling. So picture the worst assault rifle that there is, and just way slower. Then you might be thinking, like the Scar. Yes, like the Scar, but a lot slower. It's bad. It's not fun. It's not fun to use at all. And the weird thing about this gun is, being that it's an LMG with super slow mobility, there are only two attachments available for this gun that will increase your movement speed. Those two attachments are both barrels, which means no matter what, you can only have one attachment that will increase your movement speed. There are no other buffs for this weapon that will help you get around the map any faster than one of the two short barrels. And besides that, the base recoil of this gun is not bad at close range. So if you're right in front of someone, if you're running around 6v6 maps and not trying to get into the long lines of sight, you probably won't need any recoil control attachments on this weapon. If you're hopping into ground war or 10v10 though, you might need to start sacrificing mobility for your recoil, because at a longer distance, this thing will jump around and you will miss a lot of shots. So the class that I like to use for this gun, and I use the term like very loosely, is going to be more of a close quarters combat setup, one that really tries to focus on just cutting down your ADS. This is an LMG, so sprint to fire and hip fire aren't going to be that important in this build. It really is just about getting that ADS speed at a competitive level. So for the barrel, we got the 12.4-inch factory barrel because it is the shorter of the two short barrels, and we want that ADS speed, and the movement speed is not bad. And even though we are taking a decrease to recoil control, as I said, if we are playing to the gun's strengths, which is going to be short to medium or just medium range encounters, this thing will not do bad in the recoil department. But you could switch something around if you feel like it is. On top of that, I have the tac laser for added ADS speed, at only the downside of the laser being visible to enemies, so that's probably going to help a little bit. For the optic, I like the GI mini reflex, but whatever you want to use is completely fine. The mini reflexes, really like them, feel like they're a little smaller, makes them a tiny bit faster than the regular reflexes. On top of that, we got the Forge Tac CQB comb stock. It's the only stock that helps with ADS. There is no stock option for this, so there is no stock option to help with movement speed, as I said earlier, so we only can take that for the ADS speed. And on top of that, the only other thing that there is available that is going to help and not hurt our ADS speed is the stippled grip tape. So that's basically the only options that we have there to get this gun to lift up a little faster. And it's acceptable if I hop on for the first game of the day and I'm using this class setup, I'm going to be in for a bad time, because everyone else in my lobby is going to be matched as the skill-based matchmaking is going to do on my best day. The good thing about it though is, if you keep using it, the game's going to notice you're not that good, and it's going to put you into easier lobbies where things might be a little bit easier for you. Now, if you're going to be hopping into ground war or 10v10, what I'd recommend is a class that's going to help with that long distance recoil control. So to do that, we're going to put the long barrel on, the 25.4-inch barrel, because that's going to give us bullet velocity and recoil control. It's going to increase our range, and it's going to help us stay on target at those longer ranges. On top of that, I got the canted hybrid, just because I didn't want to be caught off guard up close, because that can happen in ground war. So I always have the option to switch to a red dot, but having that 3.5 zoom, it's real good for having it for the long distance encounters. On top of that, we got the operator foregrip for the recoil control. I don't know what else it really helps. I haven't really tested all of them, so anything that helps with recoil control down here, go ahead and use it. On top of that, we got the 50 round magazines, because those do not decrease your ADS speed, just your movement speed. and it is 20 rounds more than the 30 you get at the base. In the 60, adding an extra 10 rounds that will actually slow your ADS speed might not be the smartest thing just for 10 rounds, so I really like the 50 round magazines. And then on top of that, the rubberized grip tape for just that added recoil control. And this thing still kicks around. You might still miss some shots, but I noticed I was getting quite a few long shots with this in Ground Wars. You can probably see below. I don't know how I'm going to be editing it, but there's going to be something down there at one point in time that will be a good long shot with this gun, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. However, it is incredibly slow, so if it is really slow and it is really hindering your ADS speed, you can go ahead and sacrifice operator foregrip, maybe get the stock on there or a laser, and you can switch the rubberized grip tape to the stippled grip tape just to help with that ADS speed a little more. But you do have to know that everything we have on there is for recoil control, so anything you take off will hurt your recoil control, so you will have to find that balance of what range encounters you're getting into. And looking at what's needed for gold camo, you got 525 kills easy, 75 headshots easy, 65 crouching kills, just crouch a little bit. You got the 45 hip fires, 45 long shots, 45 mounted. Only 45 long shots and 45 mounted, so that should go pretty quickly in shoot house compared to the assault rifles. 180 kills all attachments, 30 double kills, 75 kills no attachments, 25 3-kill streaks. Okay, so the ones that I had a little bit of challenge of were the hip fire ones, but that actually just went by in one game because I just went into shipment. Now normally I don't like going to shipment to take care of camo challenges, but I only had 7 hip fire kills and I knew it would take a while, so I went ahead and put on the 5 milliwatt laser as well as the operator foregrip because that affects hip fire accuracy. And then I just went on to shipment and ran around and only hip fired. It should be pretty easy. And yes, I don't really like using those cheap maps like just shipment. I don't consider shoot house to be a cheap map for getting camo challenges, because if I'm not getting camo challenges, I still almost prefer to play on the shoot house playlist because it's an enjoyable map. Also, I would like to point out that it is not a good map. It is actually quite a terrible map. If you want to see why I think shoot house is such a terrible map, there should be another one of those things popping up on the top of the screen. Go ahead and click that and you can see me break down why the map is so terrible. So being that I refuse to play shipment for anything other than hip fire kills, the one challenge that actually took me the longest was double kills, because this gun sucks. You can get the first kill quite easy and catch somebody off guard, get them in the back, and as soon as you turn to take care of the other person, they're already gonna know you're there and you're just gonna drop like a fly, because this gun is gonna lose every single gunfight that you get into unless you're having that gunfight with the back of their body, which isn't always going to happen. Sometimes they're going to see you on their screen and in turn will start shooting at you, in which case every gun will beat the SA87, meaning that you are going to be in for a bad time. But being that, I still persevered and did not go on to shipment and just played on deathmatch domination and got all the double kills that I needed. And if you go ahead and just play with this gun, and you can get gold as well. I don't know why you would want to. This is the worst gun in the game. I would avoid it at all costs. If you are not going for Damascus, never touch this gun. Ever. Don't. Just don't. It's bad. It's really bad. And that's gonna wrap this one up. Thanks for watching. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Hit that sub button. Gently tap that notification bell. And on top of that, if you want to see any more of my videos and they're not popping up in the recommended, wherever that's gonna be, go ahead and just click on my channel and view the plethora of content that I have on there. Or go ahead and in the description, there's gonna be a link to a playlist with all my Modern Warfare content. So go ahead and do all of that, all that good stuff. And until next time.